Let me to introduce you to Elba. She is crazy.
Let me introduce you to Susan. She is mean.
What we mean with this, when you label someone, you can help them or destroy it. It's being used in legal, it's being used in politics. And today we're going to explain you what is labeling, how it can be used for good or for evil.
Profiling a customer is the challenge sales reps face every day. What if I tell you you can read anyone in 90 seconds? What if I tell you it can be done? Come to learn with us, Human Behavior Hacker School.
Hi everybody and welcome back. We had been missing for 2 months because we have so many news, so many classes, and even a new website. My name is Susan Ibitz. I'm a human behavior hacker. Some people have computers, I have humans. Elba?
I am Elba Uribe. I'm a human behavior hacker too, and I am the CEO of Latin America.
Yes, ma'am. So we're going to talk about the news during the show, but let's go to the point. We are experts manipulators. Take it for good, take it for bad, but that's where we have been doing. I did 18 years of political consulting. After that, I worked with lawyers, helping them to do the open closing statement, helping the clients to prepare, the experts, the witness. We help sales reps to profile everybody in 90 seconds. And one of the things that we specialize when we talk with sales reps, lawyers, and realtors is the first person who pick up the phone is the most important because it's the one who set the tone for how the client is going to be perceiving you, how to do the emotional contract, how to refer to someone. So Elba, we're going to talk about labeling, and we decide to come back to the ring with this topic. And you love labeling. Why?
Yeah, I love labeling. Why? Because when you hear about something or when you're going to buy something, you always review the reviews that product.
Oh my God.
Why? Why? Because it's people is labeling the things that you are going to buy, and you start like being like, okay, let's see, let's trust in these people, and you start putting the label to the things that you want to buy. So I like labeling because I think it's a misconception sometimes, but I think labeling, you address that label, and even sometimes you don't know or you don't research about it. Just because people is saying, you agree with that too.
Yeah. People, be more independent, and we're going to do the conclusions at the end. But again, I personally been doing this witchcraft, shithole, whatever you're going to call it, for 33 years. And again, I use it for good, I use it for bad. Now, how it worked? Let's go to the show. Let's start from the beginning, labeling. And I think the best way, I don't like what other profilers or other experts talk so complicated and so difficult and using these big words that you do not understand. Even myself and Elba, sometimes we hear some people like, what he trying to say? He's so confusing. Why you try to be so posh regarding this topic? It's simple. If I says, let me to introduce you to Elba. She is crazy. She's great at what she does. She's an expert. She's been doing for 10 years profiling in Spanish and English. She have trained big companies in Latin America. So she understands the Latin American market and the American market. So if you have a company who require training in the United States, but you want to train that company in Latin America, she's the perfect person. Why? She can navigate both words. Now, if I says, oh, she's Elba, she worked with me or she worked for me, yeah, I'm gonna see if I do an email introducing her. Yeah, she know the things. She gonna talk to you. Which Elba do you want to be talking to? Now, the first one. Why? What is the perception? I know I talk about you, my love. I should have used somebody else. But
no, it's okay for me, you know.
If you imagine that Elba was another Elba and you're going to get introduced, what is your perception on the first one and the second one? And we're going to implement something. Start putting your comments and how you would like to be introduced, because we're going to talk about that What do you feel about the first introduction I did from Elba? And what do you think about the second one? And how make you feel? Because remember, Warren Buffett said second, but Maya Angelou said first. People is not going to remember what you says. People is not going to remember what you did. People is going to remember how you make them feel. How this phrase make you feel, Elba?
It's like, it's true, because it's about how you feel about the things. And if Susan introduced me like I'm good with the things I do, I'm the CEO and things like that, you are going to feel trust. You are going to say like, oh, okay, I trust Elba. But the second one is like, I think she doesn't have the things together. So maybe we are going to talk with another person. So that's how you feel. You feel like it's trust, you can trust, or you can feel like you don't trust.
So let's give another example from your perspective. One of the things that I love working together is because we know the same things, but we have a different perception. I'm a divorcee, no kids, shy, introvert, and hermit. Yeah, I have all those three things. I put an effort to be here. Elba is more ambivert and more extrovert because you have two daughters, you're married, you live in another country, but we coming from the same background. That's what we call the dictionary. Everybody have a different dictionary for what you did, for what you do, for who you are with, who you pair with. So in your dictionary, give me an example. Use me like I use your example. If you need to introduce me for good and introduce me for bad.
Okay, if I tell you, let's meet Susan Ibitz. She is a profiler. She can profile you in 90 seconds. She's good she's good as she's doing. She have been doing this for like 20 years, and she can make the things easy for you when you need for sales, when you need for lawyers, and she's going to help you to communicate in a better way. Now, if I
destroy me.
Now, if I tell you, you know what, this is Susan. She knows what she's doing, but you know what? Maybe sometimes she can be overloading with the information. So maybe you can distract. Maybe you can be like, I'm not getting it because she tends to be too geeky. So, but you can talk to her.
I don't want to talk to the second Susan. She's mean. She's a bitch. But yeah. I too geeky and overloaded. So you can use the same information and let's rephrase it. Let's do this exercise. We're going to stop sharing and going to do this exercise because that's how the show is going to be. It's going to be more interactive. And you at home start telling us how you feel. So it's not wrong that I am geeky and overloaded. Everybody says I'm too intense, I'm odd. And they like, Susan, what do you drinking? Stop drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee. So that's me all the time. So you know what? With Susan, you can find out that she knows so much that you're going to need to tell her how much information you want to receive. So it's good when you talk to her. The good news is she knows what she's talking about. She doesn't need to go to books and blah, blah, blah. Now, the bad news is that if you're not ready, maybe you're going to need to tell her in the beginning, but it's great because it's better to have somebody who knows what he's talking about than not. Now, because she studied with the people who did and invent and develop all the behavioral channels, she goes with the studies, affirming and proving that what she studied, when she's saying is right. So if you don't need the studies because you trust what she's saying, just let her know so she doesn't start sending you piles and piles of folders and the email. That is, you can resume that, but it's going to be a good way. When you label someone, you cannot avoid the good and the bad things of that person.
Yes, I go into that point. You know, now that you are saying this, it's good to know. You just put it out there because everyone has a white side and a dark side. So put it out there, put the good things and put the bad things too. Why? Because people can have the chance to make a choice, and it's going to be a choice that people want to make.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about labeling in a way that you have two labels to give. guilty, innocent, good or bad, intelligent or stupid. We always have two labels. We don't do more than two labels. In other examples on life, you're going to have more than one label, more than two, more than three. In this case, when you label it and it's well done, you have two. If you label everything 100% positive, people is not going to believe it. My personally is, I do know the reviews in Amazon and Yelp and all those, most of them are actually their lawsuit. They are collected lawsuit against some of the companies for their feedback and the reviews. But I read the 5 stars and the 1 star. And I do my own opinion. So we need both sides. It's how you frame it what is important. So one of the things that we're going to talk at the end is when you need referrals, when you need to be introduced, you need to take control of those introductions. Yes. And when I get people says, hey, Susan, I want to introduce you with a client, let me shoot you an email with a couple of bullet points. Then I think based on what your client need or your friend need is going to be resonating with them. Do not let other people take control of your referrals. Don't let people take control of even your testimonials, because they can be too vague. When somebody give you the effort to give testimonials, not that you're going to control the narrative, but you're going to tell your testimonial is going to go to another lawyer. Your testimonial is going to go to another student. Can you narrow you as a student, as a client, as a friend, how I make you feel and how is the process to work with me or with us as a company? Elba?
Yes, and you know what? I was thinking another thing, because when you have people that you know, and you need to make a referral, sometimes people may feel like they feel like compromise, because they say like, oh, you know what? He's my friend. I know her. I know him. So I'm not going to put the bad things. I'm going to do a favor. But you know what? You're not doing a favor to anyone. It's like you need to be honest. Why? Because that's how people can have a true opinion about things or people.
Yeah, but when you work in politics and law,
no,
we have another way to label. And we're going to show you. So let's start how label start. And let's be honest. Like it says, label can be good and labeling can be bad. So how labels start. Look in this video. It's not our video. We didn't do it. Just we extracted, because when the wheel is invented, why are you going to put your fingers, try to reinvent the wheel? Let's go how labeling start.
Something?
Let us know how you feel when you saw this video and how many times either your parents, your teacher, or your friends says any of the meanings that people was labeled. And at the end of the conclusion, we're going to talk about if you're a parent, what you're doing right or wrong regarding labeling. We're not going to tell you how to educate your kids, but behavioral wise, What are the things that maybe unconsciously, some people call it manifestation. Be careful with manifestations because it's a positive or indirect way to label yourself to failure, because manifestation need to go with actions, and it's a wrongly way to label yourself. Now, if you like this, and if you don't like it either, go to like and share. Just be respectful. And remember, do not have all the fun for yourself. It's not fair to get all this information for you. Just go and tell your friends, hey, you know what? These two crazy women are doing these crazy things on YouTube. And guess what? You can be part of. So go to Susan Ibitz Human Behavior Lab. You can find us for either of them. And now you can share the fun. Again, it's not good friends do not have fun by themselves. Good friends, they share the fun with others.
Yes.
Now, I know I'm tired of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case, but we're going to show how, you know what? Amber Heard didn't lose. Johnny Depp didn't win. It was a strategy. Who went first? How was labeled? Even, you know what? I'm willing to lose some of the licenses that I have to says the some of the protester and some of the signs outside the courtroom just strategically put where the jury was coming in.
Yes.
There were posts. Why? I was not going to say I did it, but it's been done. Read the cues. There we go. This is a long video. We're going to pause coming back. So be patient. But I think this show is based on this, and how it's used and how people use it is how would happen here. Let's start with Johnny Depp introduction. And we're going to talk at the end why between the open statement and the closing statement in a trial, most people go with the cute theatrical at the end. No. The open statement is the most important part. We have lawyers who have 30 years of experience calling us, I need to do an open statement that kill it. Why? Because set the boundaries and the scenario for the situation and what the jury need to think. Because yes, we tell the jury what they need to think.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Ben Chu. My colleagues and I from Brown Rudnick are truly honored to represent the plaintiff in this case, Johnny Depp. Some of you may recognize Mr. Depp from seeing him portray characters such as Edward Scissorhands or Captain Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. For nearly 30 years, Mr. Depp built a reputation as one of the most talented actors in Hollywood, a respected artist whose name was associated with success at the box office.
Elba, I'm going to give you this a little cherry on the top of the pie. What he was doing, talking about him or talking about the good character and setting the boundaries, who is Johnny Depp?
He's setting the boundaries. He's putting the things out there. Who he is.
What is the correlation? What Johnny Depp has made so many movies, but the two characters that people love is Hans Caesar, I never know how it, and Jack Sparrow. Both are goofy, likable characters that people have paid a bunch of money to go to see the cinema. He talked about the other movies when he talked about Narcos or Shooting Guns or Blow when he's with narco truck. No, he's talking about two movies where you can smile. And even I found myself when I did the video like, oh, I remember those movies. I like it already.
Yes, you know what? It's like when he talks about these two characters is because people go back to their minds and says like, oh, you know what? Yes, these two characters were really good. Because Caesar, Hans, I don't remember how was the name.
Honey, dyslexia, don't take it. There's
yes.
It's not
Jack
personal.
Sparrow, I remember Jack Sparrow, like, wow, Jack Sparrow was a really good character. So he's putting out there the scenario. Who is Johnny Depp? And he's trying to put in people's mind the good things or the good characters that he had been doing.
Yeah. So basically, he's labeling as a likable, and we are truly honored to represent
him,
Johnny
yes.
Depp. So again, if you think about it, that was the perfect labeling. Oh, whoa. Yeah, now you know we're going to be talking about Hillary Clinton. So, okay.
In movies. For nearly 30 years, Mr. Depp built a reputation as one of the most talented actors in Hollywood, a respected artist whose name was associated with success.
His name was associated with success. 30 years of character. He's been doing this witchcraft for so long, and his name is associated.
So you put it in the same level, like success, and Johnny Depp, and then success.
Yeah, he's been associated. Again, this is going to be 10 minutes. It's going to look like an hour, but it's the way that profiling happened and the way that labeling happened.
At the box office. Today, his name is associated with a lie, a false statement uttered by his former wife, the defendant Amber Heard, that falsely cast Mr. Depp, falsely and unfairly cast Mr. Depp as a villain.
You see what happened? His former wife characterized falsely, lie. So he's setting the boundaries of the thing that you need to associate. When he was talking about Johnny Depp character outside the marriage, it was everything good. Remember when we talk about labeled up and labeled down?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when he was associated with what Amber Heard says, it's all lied, mischaracterized, a former wife is not true. Elba?
And you know what? He's putting here, like, he had been built his reputation, like everyone knows, now versus like just her former wife. One person is telling that he's that a lie of him. So you can see like the balance, how he put it.
Label up and label down. That's the best way. When it's talking about you is the positive. When somebody is putting characters on you is what is negative. So automatically the brain is like, oh, that is not true. It's what somebody else is saying is not who he is.
A man who would violently abuse a woman. This is a defamation case. It's a case about how devastating words can be when they are false and uttered publicly.
This is not about violence. Nobody in this case defined what is violence.
No.
Johnny Depp team used it strategically. No. Amber Heard never defined what is violence because it can be different. I'm coming from half Italian, half Austrian family. Slapping and talking loud and yelling and using hands was normal. So for me, when somebody do this, like, okay, what else you have? It's not violence. But for somebody who has been grown and has grown in a more traditional family, as soon as I start talking, oh, you're too intense. I talk to an Italian, like, what happened with you, girl? You get domesticated? Like, no. Other people think I'm violent and intense. So when he says this is about defamation case, it's like, if you think this has to do with violence, this is not the case. This is not the courtroom where we're going to talk about that. This is about defamation. He set the parameters, what to talk about it and what you need to think about it. Elba?
Yes, and you know what? He said when a man abused a woman, he never said Johnny Depp abused her former wife. So it's how he put things.
You took it out of my mouth.
See,
I love you.
Yes,
that happened when you go to study with amino and Sapir.
Oh, yes.
You become a monster. By the way, he is the one who invented statement analysis. All the other people just study with him or copy him. And some people even read books and they talk about that. He is the master. He's the dude who bring it to the United States. And just happened that I studied with him. And guess what? Elba did more than one trip. So, honey, you become a monster. But you're completely right. Mm-hmm. He didn't use their name. So it's not associated with them. It's like when a man and a woman.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do this. What kind of word he used? Distant words.
He is distant the things, because like you said, he is setting the boundaries like this is a defamation case.
Yes, ma'am.
Not an abuse case.
No, it's not. Oh God, bitch, I miss you so much.
Oh, me too.
Okay, let's go. And next week we have an interrogation of a mother who dumped her baby on a trash. And I'm not a doctor, and I don't portray one on the media, Elba neither. But this morning when we're reviewing the case, like, what the heck is? She's a freaking psycho, and we find out that for one phrase. But we're going to talk about that case next week. Maybe we're going to show a tip about the video. Oh God, Susan, you did it again. Sorry. I'm good at what I do, but doesn't take it. I'm stupid.
Think we know. And because of that, words can evoke strong emotions in the listener and cause irreparable harm to a person's reputation. And when, like Mr. Depp, your career depends upon your image and your reputation, or whether movie producers want their films associated with you, that harm can be particularly devastating.
Anything else you want to add to that, my love?
No, I think we had a lot of things here, and I love this video. I watched like 1,000 times because I love how he do the label from Johnny Depp, how he set the boundaries, how he said all the things that they are going to be doing and saying in this trial.
It was perfectly done. Brilliant. This is one of the opening that we use in our classes. Ow, I just hit my pinky toe. So yeah, we have a few open and close, and maybe we're going to do a show. Let us know if you would like to see a show about opening the most successful open and closing statement in trials, and what are the worst open and closing statement in trial, and what they need to be done and what you don't need to be done. So again, put it on the comment, because we are guessing what you think, and we are profilers, but we are not magicians.
No,
we are not. Magician, we are not. I love the music.
Me too.
It was a jolt. It was a shocking story, splashed across front pages across the country. No one had ever, in 5 decades, accused Johnny Depp of being violent with a woman. No one had ever accused Mr. Depp of being violent with a woman. No one, as I stated before, no one had ever, in 5 decades, no one had ever accused Johnny Depp of being abusive of any kind with a woman. That's why it was such a jolt.
It's anything you want to say about that?
Yes, I want to point one thing. You can see how words matter, and how you, when you repeat the same thing, he repeat the same thing, like no one has accused Johnny Depp from abuse 5 times.
Thank you.
Times. It's like, wow.
If it's not clear, if it says, I like you, you know what, we have that, and I like you, and blah, 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 and I like you. We call the hourglass. So, and you want to explain the hourglass, or you want me to explain it?
No, you go for it.
Why you do that? So hourglass is, if I start saying something, everything that I did in the middle, it tend to lose. So you're going to remember the first impression and the last impression. So what we do call the reinforcement effect is when I start with like, nobody have, nobody has. 5 decades. When I says 5 decades, I don't know why it resonates stronger than when it says 50 years. When it says 5 decades, it looked like lustros, like it looked like an eternity. It looked like longer. So the use of the words in labeling are important as the things that you says. So blah, 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 and he end with the same phrase. You perfectly say it, Elba. That's the way we label, and that's the way the hourglass effect works. I want to embed commands on you, and that is a way to manipulate, influence, whatever
Yes.
you're going to call it. That's the reason we start a class calling the manipulation Bible, manipulation decoded, because people is afraid to the word manipulation. Guess what? When you train your dog to pee outside, when you get your spouses to put the dirty laundry on the basket, when you make your kids eating broccoli, I don't care what you name it. We call it what, Elba?
Manipulation. At the end of the day, it's the same. And when you said the word manipulation, people start being like, no, that's mean. I use persuasion. Really? It's the same. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. And I love this part from the video because he emphasized what you need to have in your mind. He's manipulating your mind. To remember this thing.
Yes, he does. So people do not shoot the messenger. And yes, we are the messenger, and we are the people who does it. Now, the difference is with other people don't tell you, this is how things happen. Now, information is power. You can decide what to do with this. You want to do this and not to see, don't want to hear, and you want to talk? Well, I have news for you. You already are the prey. You're not the hunter. You're going to be the prey. They're going to hunt you and hunt you down. So you have two options. You can be the prey or you can be the hunter. It's on you because the material is in this video. So let's go for the next. Those are the signs outside the courtroom. How much is a juror when you see, okay, everybody think about it. I'm going to think about it too. And we're going to talk about the conformity effect and how dangerous is when everybody thinks something that is different than you think. Actually, you're going to end up agreeing. By the way, I love your Halloween nails. I just use black. I just use black. Why? I'm a change-averse. You know that.
Yes, I know that. But yeah, I like Halloween.
So you testified that you reviewed a number of hashtags that you...
Okay, this is brilliant.
Yes.
This is brilliant.
Yes.
I do not remember who bring this dude. Her or Deb?
Her. It was her.
So she and her team decide to bring this guy.
Yes.
Pay attention to this. How to use jiu-jitsu. I practiced Krav Maga and boxing. And I took 2 classes of jiu-jitsu. One of the things I love about jiu-jitsu that I understand about behavior, because I need my left brain need to analyze all the time. The people can hurt you with this force you use. Meaning is to jiu-jitsu is not to defend, it's not a fight. That's the reason I do Krav Maga, that is like punch and escape, is Israeli martial arts. But when I learn about jiu-jitsu, is basically people hurt you and can hurt you, and you need to learn how to hurt your enemy with the strength and the force and the words they use. So a good litigator, a good lawyer, a good sales rep, a good negotiator, a good profiler is the one who can use what you threw to them as a negative and flip it. Yes. That is what the Johnny Depp people did in this case. They use a witnesses brief, really.
Yes.
That is Christmas early.
Yes. And you know what? I remember that I was there with you. And when we heard this, we're like, okay, what's happening here? How he used the things, how he used his expertise to flip it and use it in their favor.
I remember you were here. We was watching this like, you must be kidding me. Yes. Really? No, he won. He won. Okay. Why? Remember when we talk about social proof? Social proof is when people talk about good about you. But when they talk bad about you, that's social proof run. And if I want to say something, I have interviewed jurors when they after a verdict, and it says, when the judge says dismiss that, people look at you like the first thing that we talk inside was about the thing that we need to dismiss. As soon as you said dismiss, is the first thing that we talk about it. So when everybody's characterizing and everybody's saying that she's this and this and this, even though if you haven't been follow this circus on the media, even though if you don't know before, they don't allow the jurors to get on the media, to not get manipulated, influenced, whatever you want to say it. What they did, they bring the media to the courthouse.
Yes.
What the heck you were thinking, guys? Hello?
They put it in a gold plate. Like, just go and do it.
You know what? I would have given everything to be on Johnny Depp side, on
Same.
this side. God, it was like, we were drooling,
Wow,
like,
yes.
really? Yeah, that was Lee. Again, it's not a personal opinion. We don't care about both lies. Just one of them was more intelligent to follow the coaching with people like us. Second of all, they have better lawyers and they listen to the lawyers. That is the only difference. Do I believe any of those? No. You, Elba?
No, I didn't. I don't believe in them. I didn't believe in them. And you know what? The thing that I like is, like you said, Susan, is how he listened, how they construct everything, and how they were using the things that she put out there in their favor. That's the thing that I love about this.
God, that was so nice to see. So grateful. I love it. Again, enjoy it. And this part, we're going to let it run so you can listen all together. And let us know what you think about the labeling. God, that is so good.
Deemed were negative towards Ms. Heard. That's right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the four you picked, at least the negative ones, justice for Johnny Depp. That's from one of them, right?
That's right.
Amber Heard is an abuser. That's one of them.
That is one of them.
We just don't like you, Amber. That's one of them.
That is one of them.
And the last one was Amber Turd, right?
That is another one.
Okay. And the Twitter data you collected shows that the four hashtags you identified were in existence before Mr. Waldman made the first statement in April 2020, right?
That's correct.
Right.
In very small number.
But justice for Johnny Depp has been around since 2013, correct?
That sounds correct.
Yeah. Amber Heard is an abuser, and Amber Turd first appeared in 2016, correct?
I don't recall, actually.
Right. Do you recall if there was any portion of Mr. Waldman's statement that made any reference to Amber Turd?
Not that I've seen.
Right. People can form a negative view of Ms. Heard without reading Mr. Waldman's statements, correct?
People can form a negative opinion of anyone without reading anything. That's correct.
This is yours, right?
Correct.
Yeah. The biggest spikes, by far the biggest spikes here, are attributable to what hashtag?
Justice for Johnny Depp hashtag.
Just happened that the same day, these people was outside the courtroom.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to do the intro you follow from here. Justice for Johnny Depp is how he start.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned another one, and the other one is Amber Turd. So the hashtag he mentioned is favorably in favor of Johnny Depp, and the other three, trilogy in 3.1 to 3, are negative against her. What do you think that means, Elba? Why just happened? Just he did that?
No, it's a reason. The order that you put out there matters. Why? Because justice for Johnny Depp, he wants people getting their minds justice for Johnny Depp. That's the good thing if you want to see him that way, that he said first. Then Amber Turd is the second one. So you can see how he put a Johnny Depp like, he's a good one, he's the good one, and Amber Heard is not.
Yeah, and just happened that the same hashtag people was outside the court showing. Let's see this. how casual, how
Maybe it's a
irrelevant.
coincidence.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't think it has
Well,
nothing
so
to do.
you looked at 1.2 million of these hashtags, right?
Right.
Million two, not
Million.
two, million two.
980,000 of these plus belong to Justice for Johnny Depp.
Ooh, slap.
That
Slap.
sounds about right. You'd have to show me, but I'll take your word for it.
All right. But the vast majority of them were Justice for Johnny Depp.
A majority of them were.
Well, it wasn't the majority so large that you had to draw another chart.
The reason
Ooh,
for drawing another chart is because the numbers were high at particular points, so you wouldn't be able to see the other hashtags.
Right.
Who this
Literally,
guy was
this
paid
is your
for?
chart, and all of the other activity at the bottom you can barely see in comparison to the hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp.
Right, as I testified, you can barely see them because of the spikes in the Justice for Johnny Depp hashtag, but when you look at the other chart, you can see that those others are still very large numbers.
Justice for Johnny Depp is not negative towards Miss Heard, is it?
No, but the tweets that use that hashtag are.
No, but the hashtag itself, the hashtag that predominates through your analysis is not, in fact, negative towards Miss Heard.
I'm not opining on the hashtag itself. I'm talking about the tweets that contain that hashtag.
But the hashtag itself is not negative.
That's not part of my opinion, one way or the other.
Do you have an opinion as to whether Justice for Johnny Depp is a good thing?
It's not part of my assignment.
Okay, but you'll agree with me justice in general is a good thing?
Big fan of justice.
All right, me too. No further
Boom.
questions.
Boom. I love the way that he ended it. And for me, wow.
okay, let's be clear on this because it's painful to watch. So he make the expert who was hired by Amber Heard to say what, Elba?
Justice for Johnny Depp.
Okay, the last is big fan of justice.
Justice. Do you think that justice is a good thing? General? And he says, yes, I'm a big fan of justice. So
And what is the hashtag for Johnny Depp?
justice for Johnny Depp. And he's, you know how many times he said that? 9 times.
Oh, you counted?
Yes.
You getting worse.
Yes, 9 times.
You getting
And it's
worse.
like, Allah. Okay, it's a lot. It's a lot. How you know what?
I love the hala. This is so Central America. Hala.
Yes.
Ole. And in Spain, you says ole.
Ole.
And
Here
Central
we
America
said
says hala.
Yes. But you know what? I like this because how he put it, because he didn't want to say justice for Johnny Depp, and how the first time that this expert said justice for Johnny Depp, he was like not feeling secure about it. The second time he said it like it was something like it's easy to say. Why? Because he had been putting in his mind with 9 times. It's like, really? You already have it like something is like, it's part of it.
I know using the other finger because I'm tired of YouTube block us, but yeah, he bent it over and give it to him. By the way, I was watching Pulp Fiction yesterday. It's one scene that I cannot take out of my head. It was like, okay, I'm gonna relax. It's Sunday because we record this on Mondays, even though the show goes on Wednesday. And I was, I want to show because one of my clients says you're Wolf, and we're going to talk about that. But well, I'm Wolf, you're a fixer. Okay, I'm gonna stop the bleeding. But if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, you will understand what is the analogy of the wolf and stop the bleeding and the fixers. That's what we do for a living. But one of the scene like bent over, like, yeah, that's what Johnny Depp team did with Amber Expert. Now, anything to say? Or we can go to politics to show you how that is done and how you can win elections. Even you're an asshole and you have everything to lose if you know how to label. Anything to say?
No, I just can say, I know that people can be tired of this same topic, but you know what? It's amazing how you can manipulate.
Yep, if you know what you're doing.
Yes.
So let's go to politics and see how it works. And we have the right slot because I always.
Yes,
So
that's the right one.
we work in politics for a long time. I don't agree with neither of those. When you are inside, when people say, oh, what is the politician you admire the both? A lot until you met them. I don't agree with the Republicans. I don't agree with Democrats. And that is my personal opinion, Susan Ibitz. I would say Republicans pay better. They understand the game and they're willing to play the game. Democrats, they expect you to donate your time and do it with the cost. Hey, dude, I have a team to pay. I'm a mercenary. So you pay me, I go for it. So I work more with the Republicans, the Democrats. I work with both, but the majority of the people that I work is Republican and the equals around the world. So one of the things that the first thing you do, and it was brilliantly done, and we're going to talk about winning versus losing, loses versus winning. He never won. She lost. And I don't care about your feminist or masculine. No, I don't care. We're talking about 100% strategically. She lost. And when somebody lost, the other win. And that was the label given to Hillary. And that is something really well done. And it takes forever to get it. But these are the labels that, and I lost, I just kicked, I told you, I kick my return on the audio. So can you still hear me?
Yes,
But I cannot hear. Yeah, but I cannot hear myself. I disconnect the cable. So those are some of the words that when you Google Hillary, those are the hashtag used to her. Now, when we're talking to him, crooked, womanizer, but nothing to do with like the economy need to be reestablished. Elba?
Yes, you know what? It's the politics in Guatemala, it's different because we don't have like Republicans or Democrats. It's not like two sides. We had a lot of things here. We had a lot of campaigns and people that want to be president. So it's a lot. But you know what? At the end, when we just vote for two, because they're the most like they have the votes, it's the same thing. It's like how you label that person and how people follow that label, even if they are not agree with it. But the one thing that they say here is like, you know what? We are going to vote for the less worse.
Corrupt.
Yes, for the less one, for the less corrupt, for the less. It's not the less. It's the one that you need to vote for the one that is going to make changes. It's not because it's going to be less corrupt or something. It's how they are going to help the country. But here we says like, you know what? Everyone here is in the same. It's nothing different, but let's vote for the one that is less corrupt or is less like less bad.
Yeah, so let's do this exercise so you understand that we are not biased. Again, when you work in politics, actually, my theory, when other political consultants come to me and says, hey, Susan, we want to pick up your brain with what you did. Like, first of all, you work with people you believe on, or you work with people you don't like. Oh, I work only people that I believe on. So you're going to lose. You're biased. You're trying to defend the situation instead to justify why. When crises happen, I don't want the new guy. I want somebody who is big and successful. And that's what they did. So I don't care who won, who lose. Yeah, I pay the consequences as an American citizen, but it's strategically wise is what we're doing here. I have worked basically for people that I don't like. Why? Because if I find one thing that I like, I can start pulling the string to help you to do a better campaign. I do the same with legal. I do the same with politics. I said this, I do the same. I don't care if I don't like you. Actually, it's better. It's help my brain, my team, and you, Elba, because like, okay, we have this person. I don't like it. Me neither. So now let's reverse. Elba, what can we like about this person? What can we make this person likable? How we can do that? The words, the clothing, the way they express, the media handling. That's how profilers work. Not liking the person.
No.
When you have a bunch of people who are polarized and believe on a campaign and believe in a situation, you're fighting to push other people on their throats like a turkey and Thanksgiving for your ideas. When actually you need to give the other person, you're right, But you know what? That is the way you negotiate. That is the way you change people's minds, not punching on the face. And when you're polarized and biased, that's what happened, Elba.
Yes, that's what. And you know what? There's one thing here. When you don't like the person, you became more objective because you go with the things, you go to the bullet points. You don't go around. You need to look, you need to find the things to make that person likable. Not for you, because it's not for you. It's for the people.
Yes, is that. Anything else, or we go to the next one?
All let's go to the next one.
And the next one is, yes, Faith Reading Profiling 10 Features in 10 Days is still here with other classes that we talk about, Manipulation Bible, the Realtor Academy. We have the Face Reading Bible, that is the longest program, is only for application only, but Face Reading Profiling 10 Features in 10 Days is here. Do not miss it. The Facebook group is going on fire, and our coaching classes and the homework, we hope to see you there. The links are all below. Now, we talked today about the mass effect and how the hashtag can affect you. And we talk about obedience. If you don't know about the Milgram experiment, we're going to talk in some point. Actually, we talk a lot about this kind of a conformity, obedience, and manipulation in our Manipulation Bible class. That, remember, if you registered by October 31, Halloween, what happened? I'm sorry, I got through. What happened?
You can be live recording with us, and you can ask whatever you want in the middle of the classes. So yeah.
And one of the advantage of this class is, like, even though it's 2 months class, we're gonna bring expert and victims. I record. Last week, I record amazing interviews with people who has been a scam and online dating. I talked to dominatrix. I talked to people who are human trafficking. This class is going to be blowout. We didn't expect to be that much. That's the reason we took 2 months off, because between the book that is going to be reflected in the class and the interviews, now you can see all the interviews we did to write the book and do this class. And one point says, why are we going to transfer what the class says about it, or the people that we interview? Let's put the interview. So it's more than 120 hours. You hear me? 120 hours of interviews of people, and the 150 years of manipulation studies done around the world. But one of them that we're going to talk about, yeah, tell me.
And yeah, just to put it out there too with the Manipulation Bible. And you know what? Everyone is telling you what is manipulation and put it the meanings, the concepts, and the things. But it's not the same when you hear a person that have been manipulating there and put it out there and put their experience. It's different, because you can understand and you can feel the things, and you can be like, okay, this can happen to me too. So that's why this class is going to be blowing minds.
And I really appreciate saying that, because I couldn't have said it better. It's true. We have the theory, we have the victim, we have the victimizer, we have even psychopaths and narcissists talking about what they do, how they do it, and what you need to avoid. We have lawyers, we have FBI, we have psychologists talking about, so never done before. We did a lot of research before we decided to do the class. It's the first and only class where we're going to talk about this. So one of the studies we're going to talk is the Ash experiment. Ash was kind of a mentor of Milgram, and in the 50s, and basically he says that if everybody says white, even though I see black, for social conformity, I'm going to say white. Elba, you want to say it another way?
Yes, it's like, okay, if I'm telling you that this tide, it's the best one, and it's going to help you with your meetings and your negotiations, and everyone is saying that, you're going to believe it, even if you said like it's just a black tie. But you know what? Yes, it's going to help me.
One of the exercises that we do on the class in Sales Intelligence, and we're going to talk about that, is when we record the class, we use Richard Harris' knowledge and craft and selling, and we did the face reading based on what Richard did. So we use like, okay, face reading. This is the face the client have. Now, how you sell this pen, a pencil or marker. And we did classes, and people who never sell anything and start talking, because what they use is the face they see, how they see it, and the exercise. And that's what we do when we have our coaching sessions once a month with Richard Harris. So if you are in sales, want to be in sales, or you want to be recession proof, and we have an article coming next week about that, why 51% of the CEOs are planning to erase people from their jobs, to not say fire them. And guess what? Remote workers coming first and salespeople coming first. So we're going to have an article. So you want to be recession proof? This is the class for you. And before we go into the conclusion, the people criticize that we do the conclusion as small. So we're going to do the big one. Elba, people want to say that you're a bitch manipulator and mean and crazy. Where they need to write to you?
You need to go to elba@humanbehaviorlab.com, and it's going to be a pleasure to answer. And if people is saying that you are mean and like you are evil and strong, where they need to go?
I would say you're right. I'm an evil. And you can go to Susan@humanbehaviorlab.com. Only to let you know, after so many years, I don't take anything personal. But even though we reply to our own emails, people says like, oh, you reply to me? Like, yeah, we time every day to reply. So I'm going to give you the first one because I adore you. God, I miss you so much. Guys, we miss you so much. Conclusions about from the motherhood on labeling.
Okay, let's start this.
She's a bitch. She's crazy. Remember,
Yes.
labeling,
Yeah, but the way my girl said, I'm the crazy mom. So yes, I own it.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yes, I own it. I'm the crazy one. But you know what? When you are raising your kids, you need to be really, really aware about what you are saying to them, because you are going to believe it. Even if they are being like, I'm not like that, but mommy is saying it, so maybe it's true. So you need to be aware of it. And you need to put the labels, if you want to call it that way. You can put the labels in them that reflects their personality. Or the best way is like, ask them how you see yourself, how you see yourself, how you think about yourself. What do you think about yourself? Okay, I'm this, I'm that. And even the bad things that they can tell you, you can reinforcement, you can flip it and put it
if I tell my kids, and I don't have kids, but I have a grandkid, but long story, step grandkid. But if I say all the time, you're not going to make it, you're not going to make it, you're a loser, guess what? You're raising a loser. So
yes.
When you tell a kid all the time, it's not going to happen. No, I don't believe in give you a trophy for being second. No, I wasn't raised that way, that the reason being dyslexic.
Me neither.
We both are highly dyslexic, even though we're different generations. We didn't have any for granted. So I do not agree with that. But I have parents who says, you can make it, you can go there, no matter what people says and what everybody told me. I'm stupid because I'm dyslexic. It happened to you too. I have a good background to go against bad. So now everybody tell me you cannot do it. The only thing I need to do is prove you wrong. Elba?
Yes, and that's true. And you know what? There's something that if you tell your kids things, even for example, I'm going to put the example of my daughter. One of my daughters, the little one, she's so shy. But if I tell her, you are a shy person, you're a shy kid, she's going to believe it. But I flip it and I say, you know what? Yes, I know that you are shy, but you know what? When you know your things, you go in bright, you go high. So that's how you change the things. Because everyone has a positive and a negative side. So if you enforce that kind of things, it's going to be different. Because for me, it was like, you're a failure, you are a dyslexic, you are not going to have anything in your life. And it's like, now it's like you say that to me, and it's like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm going to go really high, and you are going to see me, watch me, challenge me. That's what I like.
Yeah, so some people call it labeling, some people call it framing, some people call it I don't know what you want to call it, like whatever you want to call it. But the point is, do not let other people introduce you. Do not let other people set the stage. One of the things, last year I did 117, I think it was 117 keynotes. Guess what? I never let anybody to introduce me. I always send the blur and how to introduce me based on the event. So my agent asked the event, where I always jump on the first call and says, what is the event, who's going to be the venue, and I work on the blur, the kind of bio, the presentation I do based on who is going to be in front. I'm not going to be I've been presented in Cancer Association and collecting money. I'm going to Miami for a week. I'm so happy to do that for a nonprofit, but that nonprofit has nothing to do with the event I'm going to go the next day. That is for a law firm who want me there, so people want to come to the party. There are different intros. So do not let other people manage your media presence. Don't let other people manage your hashtag. Register. One of the things I presented last Thursday, and I asked to the people on the room and says, hey guys, have you ever think about register your name? Like, no, you don't have the domain of your name. Well, you can be on a porno site, you can be related to gang members, fraud. You need to register your name as a domain and the ones of your kids. And even though your kids are small, do the hashtag in all the media. Control the narrative. I cannot tell you how many people couldn't run for office and how many lawyers get this bar, how many people didn't get hired because somebody like them have a similar name and they don't control the narrative. I'm so happy to have a name that nobody else have here in the United States. Most of the people in Europe from where I'm coming from, that control your narrative, control your framing and control your narrative, and most of all, the labels. Elba?
Yes, and I agree with that. And I'm going to put something else. Label yourself first. That's the thing that you want to do. Manipulate first. I know that you can be like, but manipulate? Yeah, do it. Why? You can do the things. You do it first. Don't let anyone can tell you what to do and where to do it. Why? Because you are in control. This is your boat and you are the captain.
Yeah. So that's the reason we have the hashtag human behavior hackers. Some people hack computers. We have humans, and we love to do it. Why? Yes. This is our narrative. That is our tagging. That is our frame. My love, it's been a pleasure like always. We're gonna see you next week. And here a little tip of the video that we're gonna be talking next week. It's a really controversial situation. I don't have kids. Elva has, and when I send the video, I'm like, ouch. But let's do it. So it's gonna be hard. So if you don't have the stomach to go through things like that, a mother throwing her just born baby in a trash and don't care, we cannot go through the hour interrogation, but we're going to show you how a good interrogation is done. We know a lot of all interrogations, but the new generation of police doing amazing interrogations. So we're going to talk about that. So here a sneak peek of what we're going to be seeing next week. Love, miss you.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.
She's the crazy.
And she's the mean.
Hello, 911.
Yes, we just found a baby in the trash. We had just found an infant child
Is it
in
breathing?
the goddamn trash. Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Hello, yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me about the baby?
He's still got his umbilical cord and he's freezing cold and he's very, he's drained, he's very, very, very weak.
Obviously, I'm looking at a evidence standpoint, what we were called out to. I don't know what you're going through. If you're going through anything, we're all humans. Before me being a detective, I'm a father. I'm son and stuff like that. We're all human. It doesn't matter what rank we have or how old we are. All right, and that's why, I asked you to come out here and give me your side of the story. Okay, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to question you. I'm not here to accuse you. I'm not here to, belittle you. That's not what I do. That's not my job. So my job is to investigate, and that's exactly what I'm doing. All right. So if you can, I would kindly ask you just to tell me the truth, and we'll go from there. Okay. So you want to tell me what's going on, or what happened today, or what led to this?
I can tell you, but I need you to ask because then I can't tell you because I don't know.
Right. Okay. So, obviously I got confirmation that you were pregnant, okay?